I think that maybe our lives, the very miraculous experience of consciousness itself, is all a chance to be wiser. These conversations and, well, monologues are the reflections of the triumphs, struggles, creations, and wisdom we receive and wonder about along the way. This is a chance to be wiser. I'm Blair, and I'm so glad you're here. Okay, I need to process, so I don't know if I'll publish this or not, but I'm becoming more and more aware of the responsibility I have to cultivate safety within myself and how I feel in the world to a degree that I feel so annoyed by. And I'm also noticing within that how clear boundaries become when you become your resource for safety. And I hate how overused the word boundaries has become, and I think we can over boundary ourselves, but I'm someone that kind of had zero and I'm only recently figuring that out. And I just find it fascinating that the stronger of a resource of safety you learn to have within yourself, that the clarity you have around where you're not having strong enough boundaries and therefore not cultivating enough safety and respect for yourself becomes so clear, which is obvious. I'm just putting it together. But it's uncomfortable because it's something you've allowed for so long. It exists for me in some of my closest relationships. And I don't even blame the people taking advantage of my loose boundaries for doing so, because it's just kind of like been my MO. And so it's hard for them to even see it. So if just boundaries or codependence is something you are becoming aware of or working through, I've found it really helpful to notice the feeling I feel, kind of as like my, what is it called in your car? Like whatever, like a warning light. And for me, it's definitely like resentment, like hurt feelings, anger. So for me, that's a flag to look at, where have I allowed boundaries to be crossed? And my favorite thing I've ever heard said that is so helpful is, at the root of all resentment is a boundary that you let get crossed, or something like that. I think at the root of all resentment is a boundary you allowed to get crossed. And I have found that to be very true. So we also have to remember our own accountability and resilience, because we can only ever receive what we're allowing, whether that's energetic or literal. And it can feel so scary to speak up about it, but we have to. And Rue yapping is maybe her gift in teaching how to implement and use your voice. So I would love to riff more about this, because it's helping me. And that just really helped me put some dots together. And I'm feeling resistance to the speaking up I need to do. But yeah, just trusting I can do it my way. Whenever I'm feeling vulnerable and exposed and annoyed and hurt, it's most likely something I didn't put in place that someone then, I would say, takes advantage of, but that sounds so much more malicious. But like, people can only operate within the bounds that you've allowed so far. So remembering that feels crucial in reestablishing safety within ourselves, or myself. And I'm just now putting those dots together, and it's helping me a lot. So allow those precise indicators to get sharper and sharper. And when we declare the need for something like building safety within ourselves, in my experience, we'll keep getting situations in which we can do so. And we'll keep being shown where it isn't established and should be. And yeah, it's a little bit of like, be careful what you ask for and be ready for what you ask for. Because coming up against these edges, I don't want to say is never comfortable, because we don't need to establish that, but in my experience so far, it's not often comfortable at all. That's life, I think. And on the other side of discomfort, there's a new reality and relief. Just like taking like a thorn out of your foot or glass out of your foot. The process is not comfortable, but it has to come through the surface, go through the skin, and heal and become something new after. And that is the transformation and alchemy I have been so deep in the process of, and have been witnessing other people's deep in the process of also. So know that you're not alone. We're being asked to meet our pain points with grace. And even though we're being asked to meet them with grace, that doesn't mean that the process of it is graceful. It means that the allowing of the ugliness is graceful. Meaning, the big feelings required in the discomfort we face is inevitable. And it's our willingness to do that uncomfortable act that is giving our grace to ourselves. It is not that the act itself necessarily looks or feels graceful. And that's been a very big learning for me, because I haven't wanted to face the ugliness, and it's felt daunting and overwhelming to feel the level of pain and grief I've been feeling and holding. I haven't wanted it to slow me down or take me down. But the annoying irony is that it's heavier when I tuck it away than if I just kind of let it deck me, like I've talked about before. And may we be given grace on the other side of that process. And may we remember that that's the framing of grace. And that there, in my opinion, is not necessarily clean, formatted, peaceful way of deep feeling, because it's inherently, what's the word? It's inherently messy. Rue's ready to go, so, but I love you, and that's my clarity in the density today. Love you, bye.